Hey, welcome back to HostiFi. My name's Alex, and today we're looking at UniFi Protect 2.8.28. This update came around 10 days ago, and it introduces a lot of new features for the G4 PTZ, bug fixes for UniFi Protect. There's a massive list of bug fixes, as well as global recording for cameras, and some other improvements for G5 and G4 series. So you can find the information about this release at the Ubiquiti community. Link is in the top right hand corner and in the description down below. As I said, a massive list of improvements that Ubiquiti have made. It's really good to see that they're pushing forward with UniFi Protect. So we're going to have a look at some of the fixes in the UniFi Protect dashboard. So first one is the camera capacity. So you can now see how many cameras you've got of each different type, and then how many cameras you can theoretically install going forward. So I've got a standard UNVR. I've got 4 8TB drives in this particular device, and it's saying that I've got storage capacity for 35 days. And my earliest recording is a month ago, end of May, so pretty good. So on this particular device, I've got 10 HD cameras, that's the G3 series basically, 7 2K cameras, that's G4 series and G5 series, and I've got 1 4K camera, that's the G4 Pro. So if I hover over this grey section here, it says I've got capacity for 22 HDs, 6 4Ks or 11 2Ks. I'm not particularly sure if that means in total. I'd imagine that means going like extra. So in theory I can add 11 more 2K cameras or 6 4K cameras, and that's going to be it for this particular device. If I want to add more, I could stack together UNVR or get a UNVR Pro. So one of the main features is the global settings. So just like UniFi Network with the access points, there's now global settings for recording. So I can specify that the cameras always record, it's going to be continuous. I can set defaults for the overlay information, exclude cameras from this particular settings, or I can set the motion detection per, like, on a global level, which is really helpful because if you're deploying a lot of new cameras, you can go ahead and add most of these features, which just add by itself. Obviously, the detection recording, sort of the motion zones, that's a manual setting, obviously. So a lot of other bug fixes, so for the G4 PTZ, we've got a new live player and auto track in the G4 PTZ. So you can specify an object to record it or track them, for example, a person, which is really cool. And then the AI series and the G4 PTZ will now have a detection highlight for the live player. So in real time, it will show you if it's seen a person or a car. And then every single device has had a new software update. So the floodlight, the chime, the viewport, and all the cameras have had firmware updates. And then for the floodlight, this option isn't available in the GUI. I think it's on by default. I can't see it in my version of UniFi. But you can now have the floodlight trigger when there's a smart detection detected. So I'd imagine that some things aren't seen as a motion event if they're really far away, but the camera is seen an event using these smart detections, which is pretty good. There's also a huge list of other fixes, which obviously this link is down below in the description. But the last one is the stackable NVRs. So you can now move the cameras between the child and the parent NVRs if you want to. It's not going to automatically balance them at this stage, but you can move them manually if you want to. And then there's an NVR column in the device list to show you which NVR is on, which camera is on which NVR, which is good for balancing those cameras out manually if you need to. And there's some other fixes for that, so it should make it easier to set that whole thing up. Huge list of bug fixes for cameras like the HDR hunting for the AI series, G4, G3, contrast malfunctioning, that sort of thing. And there's still this known issue from ages ago, sort of sharing live streams does not work when using browser on iOS, so hopefully that's going to be fixed at some stage. We're just going to have a quick look at the new live player, so the detection overlay. So that's been a look at UniFi Protect application version 2.8.28. So you can now update your devices to this new version. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you want to learn more about HostiFi, have a look at HostiFi.com. We do hosting for UniFi, UISP, and TP-Link Armada. Contact our team for any support and queries. We've got HostiFi Pro, where you can get one-on-one time with a engineer to help with your projects. So that's for UniFi, UniFi Protect, or TP-Link Armada, or any other Ubiquiti products. Follow us on Twitter at HostiFi_net, and we'll see you again next time.